gave it to us.
Oh, I'm so glad they gave it to us.
Look out, can they? Yeah. Ooh! With the express pass, yeah.
Season 27, episode 5 of The Amazing Race. We are the Green Team, Justin and Diana being joined by half of Team Alabama.
Girl from Team Alabama.
I love it. All right, this episode kicks off, goes right into it. No real intro, goes right into Josh and Tanner. You need to make your choice of who is getting that express pass. And without hesitation, they give it to Team Alabama. What were they thinking, James Earl?
Good strategy.
So they give it to us. So little did we know, Mom and I are at the mat in third. Who would have thought? Because right behind, after they give it, it was kind of like a compliment and an insult. They're like, we're going to give it to the Alabama because there's no chance they'll catch up to us. Mom and I get there, and Phil was like, so y'all are in third place. We're like, yes. And then he was like, and you get the express pass from Tanner and Josh. We're like, yeah. And then he's like, I was like, this is so much better than last leg. And that's when Phil goes, speaking of last leg. And that's when you see my face drop. Did you see my face drop on TV?
Yes,
I'm like, oh God, no, we did a penalty. I was like, we got another penalty somehow, some way. And that's when we know. Then he's like, and you're continuing the ledge. Little do we know, so much happened in such a short amount of time.
I know. Well, I was confused. I thought it was like a recap because, Phil's saying, oh, last week. And then it kind of cuts to present when Tanner and Josh are at the pit stop and they have to give the express pass. Like,
that is true. If you blink, you miss what happened.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very quick. Boom, right into it. Like, we're getting right into the action here. And Team Alabama gets the express pass, but Team Texas, the way they described it was kind of more like we didn't want to help somebody lose. So we figured that to let the bottom teams fight it out, we'll give it to somebody in the middle. And they figured they would give it to Denise and James Earl because Denise and James Earl helped them in the past. Green team showing hopes Team Texas knows that we are true to our word and that we plan to be that way the whole race. And we see Josh and Tanner where they gain a whole lot of respect for the green team, but right next sentence say that the next chance they get, they'll have to U-turn us because we're the biggest competition. So respect earns you what?
James Earl, I loved your mom's happy dance in the cab.
Okay, I don't know where that came from, but she was just like, she was on a high right then.
That was so great.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point that out because I noticed that and I was like, I could feel that excited to do that. Yep.
Yeah, definitely Denise dancing in the cab right before a great intro. But Denise's scene right there made for a great gift, but it also showed for her personality. Like that's who Denise is. Like she's just fun.
Excited to be where she is.
Very excitable and fun, and what you see is what you get. Like she doesn't really hold anything back. And we definitely love that about Mama D.
Also, can we talk about one rule that I think a lot of people miss is the express pass had to be used this leg by us or we lost it.
Yes.
A lot of people missed that in translation, and a lot of people were critiquing us for using it this leg. But I think not using this leg would have been much worse.
It's funny how they're critiquing you, who is on the race, who knows the rules, who has been strategizing, as opposed to the people that missed the explanation in the beginning. So... No, somebody's not paying attention.
Finishing up the first leg in Africa, green team's first, followed by Texas, Alabama, of course, with the seal clap, and then that great reaction shot of.
I really did think we were getting a penalty though. Like based off when he was like, speaking of last leg, you and Denise messed up again this leg, so 30-minute penalty. Like I knew that was coming. I was like, oh God.
Followed by the reporters, Shack Attack, and the paparazzi. And this is where paparazzi, I think, made a lot of enemies at home. Yeah. Like a lot of people loved watching them fight, but this is kind of something that made people really upset. Chris goes, big donation, pops a $20 bill, tucks it in the donation spot, looking at the kids. And Phil just asked, just out of curiosity, how much money do you have left and how much did you donate? He says, I donated 20 and I have $155 left.
That's crazy.
That was bad of him. And a lot of people thought Phil was picking on them. I don't know about y'all, but Phil asked us after we donated, how much did you give and how much do you have left? And we're like, oh, Mom and I had like 130, and we're like, we gave it all.
Right.
So it's not like he was just picking on them. Like, he was asking everybody that.
Well, I want to point something out. If you notice that whole scene, the music that they have in the background is kind of like this clown music that you could tell that maybe something interesting is going to happen or something funny. I mean, and here's the thing. I get it. You don't want to give up your money because you don't ever know how much you're going to need. But that's a risk that I think I would make us take. Like we walked up there and we just kept saying, this is everything. Take everything we have. And I feel like if we would have gone out because we gave all our money at an orphanage, I would be okay with that. If it came down to that we didn't have money for something and we couldn't beg our way out of it, I would go home okay with that because I felt like it would come back to me. But
you know, also too, if you take a step back, you have to think they want you to give all your money. Like they're setting you up to like donate all of your money.
right.
This is
Right.
There's all these children. You're at an orphanage.
And if you just take a second to think too, and this is gonna be like the selfish side, like, do you really want to be that person that's on TV going,
Not giving
you know
it.
what? I don't want to give all my money to the orphans.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't need it.
I get that this is a race and it's a competition, but these are orphans. Like that's real life for them, and this is
Right.
real money for them. This
Right.
was like kind of fake money for us.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely
I feel you.
showed like who was playing a game and just didn't care, and who was seeing a little bit of the world while they were going. And I think because the paparazzi travel so much, maybe they take it for granted. I don't know.
And also, I mean, this is not the first time though that they've had a charity at a pit stop.
Well, yeah, they've
That
definitely.
is true, and a lot of
So-
people missed out. I was afraid that if you didn't give it all, it would come back to bite you.
Absolutely, that's my thing. I mean, I'd rather regret.
Yeah, we just didn't hesitate. She was waiting to go see orphans. Like she was so excited. If we had $500, we would have given $500. Like there was no hesitation. We're just giving it all, and that's just who we are. Of who she is. She's got an amazing heart.
I haven't stopped. Like,
She's still collecting
I'm still
money, which is
collecting money.
awesome. The C11 Charity Can Challenge. There'll be a link right
somewhere.
here. You can check that out and help out the kids, and
See what we're up to.
it's really cool.
Also, I also want to give like a quick shout out to Chris and Logan because I'm criticizing their TV racers, like their TV, who they are as racers.
Oh, of course, not
In
as
real
people.
life, they do a lot of charity work.
Absolutely,
Like they do. The two of them
absolutely.
do.
100%. This is what it's about. It's about being fans and critiquing a
Yeah.
season, not critiquing people.
Yeah, Chris is a great dude.
Yeah.
He does a lot of charity work, but he's a very hard player. Like he plays hard, so he just was laser focused.
There's a difference between critiquing people and critiquing the race, and we're critiquing a race.
Absolutely, we like
It's
everything.
the one thing I learned from the Facebook comments. There's a difference between attacking somebody personally and attacking a race.
Attacking their style, yes. All right, so the paparazzi make their big donation. They get guilted into it and finally donate their money. And right before he donates all his money, he goes, Chris, again, I guess we don't need it. And he hands it over. The track stars follow behind him, and then the cheerleaders come up to the mat last, run up to the U-turn board, and U-turn the green team because they promised they would.
I stand behind that decision for them.
What?
I do.
I think it was
know.
smart.
Yeah, thank you. It was smart.
Because the only reason I think it's smart is we had no way of knowing that Tanner and Josh had to give the Express Pass over like at that moment. Like
Right.
you would have never have known. So you know, let's put ourselves in the cheerleader shoes. They don't know it's a continuation of the leg.
Okay.
As far as they know, like everyone's just checked in and they go, we have nothing to lose. We're either last or next to last. Let's put up, like no one else has filled up the board, obviously. Let's put up green team. If we survive, we have a good pitch to ourselves that none of these other people stuck by you. We did. So we're loyal to you. So let's help us out.
And they don't know how long croquet took. So for all they knew, that they were the last from their pack that went to the co-op. So
That's also very true.
yeah. I mean, I
My-
know that we got U-turned, but I agree on why they did it, and
I agree for a couple reasons. One, they were never near the front of the pack, so I think they were like, well, we're never going to beat the first person at the board. So if Tanner and Josh said, hey, we're going to give the express pass to whoever U-turn the green team, well, we U-turn the green team. It's not our fault they were ahead of us. We U-turn the green team. You said you'd give the express pass to whoever U-turn the green team. Can we have the express pass? That's the only valid reason I think that they could do it at that time. But it didn't hurt. They didn't. They were last. It was a keep on racing leg. Nobody got sent home, but Krista was in the cab crying on the way because she hates being in the back of the pack, working so hard and still being in the back of the pack. One of the times where Tiffany was crying as well, but was quiet and didn't give one of her classic Tiffany, speeches to get Krista back into it. We were to head to the Lookout Cafe, and this was the roadblock. Who wants to gorge themselves? What?
I didn't know. I thought it was going to be food, so I was like...
We thought it was going to be food as well, so that's why he says...
There was a Lookout Cafe. I get that there's a gorge swing, but there's also a cafe,
Right.
and that's what I
He
saw.
told us to go to is the Lookout Cafe, and then you get a
Yes.
clue that says who wants to gorge themselves.
Yeah, and the clue box was like right to the left of the cafe, and I'm like, you can do this.
Yeah.
And then when I saw it was something Heights, I was like, oh, God, maybe I should have done it, but...
If we would have known for sure it was a throwback to season 1, the first ever roadblock, like if we would have known that it was just a dangerous, scary thing, she would have definitely done it. But it was a possibility, a cafe and a food challenge.
Not me.
And if that is in Africa, you never know what they can make you eat in Africa.
Nope.
There's so many crazy things to eat there.
Africa was when season 7, Robin Amber. That was Africa.
They're like 3 pounds of
Oh,
meat,
4. It was a lot of meat.
4, yeah.
4
That was
pounds
season-
of meat. Just
That was Mom and I's strategy too, because Mom can't eat strange.
You are ready for the comeback now.
That'll be in the Patreon only version. That's great.
So that's what we chose it, because Mom and I were getting a little unbalanced with roadblocks, because at this point in time, Mom had done 1 and I had done 2. So I was doing this one, so it put us 3-1, but we just couldn't risk it being eating, because she wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah, you can't take the chance if it's an eating challenge. You just have to do it. And like I said, it was a great throwback to the first ever Amazing Race Challenge. Swing through the Patoka Gorge and just survive a crazy adrenaline rush. There was nobody swinging, no fat bastards this time.
Oh, no, I have a new name for this episode.
Uh-oh.
But that comes later.
Okay. Ooh.
This
Look at that.
Sorry.
Teasing ahead. I like that. No,
I just wanted to
sorry. That's
remind
great.
the audience that I have something else I want to say later on. Because I won't remember.
Also, can we talk about this little swing? So when I got to do this, I'm about to jump into the swing, and when I jumped, one of like the little drones that's doing the camera work.
Yeah.
hit
Oh,
my
yeah, it
foot
crashed.
and, like,
Didn't it crash?
explode. Yeah.
Yes.
So like the reporters and Mom are up there, and they're like thinking I'm dying. They're like looking over the edge, and I had no idea.
I think that's the second one they crashed there, too. I think because I'm
winds.
like, why do I remember that? But I think it happened when we were there, and then it happened again. Everybody has such great footage from that jump.
Yes.
Like just the reactions of everybody screaming.
The GoPro right in your face was really good.
Tiffany screaming, this is amazing. It's just, it made me jealous.
I like when Mama D asks a little strategy at Patoka Gorge. She runs up to Josh and Tanner. Did the green team see you give the express pass? So it's Mama D plays off as innocent, but she was playing the game just as hard as everybody else.
You
I
have
would say a lot of people gave Mom and I crap, but we really were trying to stick in there and like play to win. We were.
Of course.
That's the way you got to do it. I mean, come on.
You guys were playing like I wanted to play. Like I said to Justin, just shut up. Don't tell people you know what you're talking about. And here he is, like, blah, blah, blah.
I can't help it.
Oh, God. Well, we're working on it.
It was fun.
We're working on it.
It was just.
We're working
Because here's the thing. Here's the question for y'all, and this is kind of what Mom and I's thoughts were: is if y'all knew that we had the express pass and we were right on your ass, your tail, wouldn't you have like pushed just a smidge harder? Someone like on your tail with an express pass, you're gonna push a little harder.
Well, I hate to say this, but I think that we pushed hard through the race. If we went first place, we pushed hard. It's never like we needed somebody behind us to push us harder. I don't think.
See, like here's an example too. I mean, it comes up later, but when Shack Attack and I call them Shack Attack, by the way, not Shack Attack, but when Shack Attack and Chris and Logan are going back to where they should have gone, like Shack Attack is like just kind of walking down the path, and Chris and Logan are just happily following. And like we see that and we're like, oh my God, there's no way that we would have been jogging lightly behind. We would have been sprinting to get there before them. I mean, we were always racing. And I mean, I always fight harder when there's people behind you. He's confident, and I always have that little edge of doubt that I like to have that fire.
You never know. Sometimes it's a spark. So I guess if it would have helped her, then I guess it would have helped us because she's half our team. So it definitely would have made us.
The more liked half of the team.
Ooh.
Hey, well,
he doesn't deny that.
I don't deny it. So who wants to take the swing? Justin, Josh, Kelsey, James, Earl, Danielle, Tiffany, Cindy, and Chris all take the jump. I like before Josh jumped off, he asked Tanner to smack him in his face.
Yeah.
What was that?
That was weird. I saw that in person, and I was like, what the heck is going on over there?
Should have just like
that was, I'm mad. Smack me in the face. Smack me harder. Smack me harder. And then he came right over, and he thanked me for honoring the agreement, and said he had a lot of respect for me, which was really cool. I also told him at that time that we plan to keep our word for the whole race.
And then they play that like sinister sound effects that sounds like you're lying.
Yeah.
I mean, I picked up on it because I knew that we said that and we meant it honestly. And then to get the sound effects that you're telling a lie is.
It's misleading, but it's cool. It makes for great viewing, but it's not like.
And who knows what we really would have done. So.
That is true. Like you say those things, but if push comes to shove, you're always out for your own team.
Yeah.
So Kelsey jumps right after I do, and then followed by James Earl. All right, so the paparazzi and Shack Attack get to the roadblock. They open the clue, and then immediately dart back to the cab.
You know why? I know why.
Didn't read their clue.
No, they did read their clue. They just didn't read it close enough. So they thought Mom and I were at the back of the patch still. So they see us leaving the roadblock, getting into a cab. So what they assume is that we just opened our clue, ran back to our cab, because we know where we're going, and they see us take off. Little do they know we're going to the detour.
Right. You guys are a step ahead of them.
So look at this. I didn't know this. I love finding out cool stuff. So it's because Denise and James Earl tricked them into following them.
Yeah, we tricked them. No, we were just running, and they assumed that we were in the back of the patch, which, you have a 50-50 shot of assuming that's true.
Right. That was one of our rules, though. Like, don't follow anybody. You don't know where. Just don't. Just.
Yeah, be a leader, not a follower. Right. Like we have our
march to the tune of your own drum. Is that the saying?
That is a saying. Go baby.
I don't often get things like that right.
So the paparazzi jump in a cab following the Shack Attack as they both leave the race, and that's when I have a little superfan moment right when you're watching Tiffany jump off. Right before she jumps off, there's an editing mistake. It says it's Krista about to jump off. And I don't think anybody really ever pointed that out. But
not did you? I don't think I touched that.
Super fan eye. And then finally realizing they're going to the wrong place, the Shack Attack and the paparazzi turn around and head on back. And this is when she's talking about, so they know they're the last two people, and they're going down this path, and Shack Attack are walking in front of you, and the paparazzi are walking behind you. Neither one of these teams thought that, hey, we're the back of the pack, we might want to hurry up and not be the last one at the roadblock. Like that's what I mean. It's just like those little things like that just separated the 1 or 2 minutes that always gave us a small advantage, I guess. I don't know.
Or it's just the lens that we studied the race with. Like, I mean, that's how closely we looked at things when we watched it. He watched it 3 times, but I mean, when we were studying it, it was those little things make a difference. Those are opportunities to get ahead of somebody.
And that's
No,
when
you have
Chris.
to like count your seconds because you never know if you're going to miss that train closing by like seconds.
100. Yeah.
So, like, why didn't I just put a little pep in my step?
All right, so Chris and Logan are fighting, and they think they're done. Logan, she said,
Oh, good. He didn't die.
yeah, after Chris jumps off, it's Logan. Oh, good, he didn't die. It shows a
She has
little
some of the
care.
best one-liners, I have to say.
Oh, I know.
Like, she has some great ones, and they're just so dry, but I love them.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
definitely.
good. He didn't die.
So we got to head to the detour. After that, we have to choose Crocs or canoes. You have to cross the Zambezi River in a canoe, which is the Zambezi River is full of hippos and crocodiles. You cross the Zambezi River in a canoe. You race across the island. You hoist your partner up into a what was it, an ostrich nest or
No,
a
it was
vulture
a
nest?
vulture's nest.
Ostrich nest. A vulture's nest, and you grab the clue, and then you race back. Or you can go feed crocodiles.
You know what's also sad, too, is y'all's detour was harder and farther away. Because when like, Mom and I were deciding, we went to the taxi and we pointed the two locations, and we're like, which one's closer? Just take us to the closer one. And it was Crocs.
Yeah. Well, the only reason why we didn't pick that is we thought it would just even that it was closer, that it would have taken longer. Like
Because they said you had a
changing-
safety briefing, then you had to change it to a wetsuit, and then you had to go down, and you had to
change
feed
it out.
crocodiles,
Right.
and hopefully they were going to eat right away, and then you had to change back out. So we were like, we're both strong on the water. Let's go use our strengths. Let's go do a strength one. So that's kind of what we thought. And
I
So
mean,
can we also, let's go ahead and talk about canoes then, because I loved this editing. You know,
yes.
I love me some Tanner and Josh, but this editing was just perfection because
First of all,
these two buff guys are like going like, we can do this, and then you just see them like barely moving, and y'all two just look like y'all are just like enjoying the day, just like barely going side to side and just zooming.
Justin and I are like Ellie and Noah on The Notebook. We're just, rowing in sync and everything's grand. We're such a great team, like we're such a great team. And Tanner and Josh look like,
they're like,
You know,
we can
they're-
beat them. We
yeah.
can get them. Just
No.
come on.
I think Josh said, hey, let's kill them on it. And then they just show, them spinning in circles. Why are they beating us? I don't get it.
And then he's like, oh, what? They're killing us.
Yeah.
Then they argue. They keep arguing, and they don't understand why they can't catch us. But whoever's in the back, just follow the guy in the front and do the same thing that they're doing.
Yes.
They literally smashed
It
paddles
was kind
a
of
couple
cute.
times.
It was cute. But hold on. I realized I need more words of excitement because when we got there originally and there was that elephant right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's all I say is, oh my God. And then I watch Krista who's just like screaming and she's so excited. I'm like, God, I need to, get a page out of her book because, oh my God.
Well, you
Or,
said,
oh my goodness.
and you were like, I can't focus right now. I just want to touch the
I
elephant.
know.
Yeah,
It was just natural.
elephants aren't that gentle of creatures at times.
No,
It's like-
I know. But it's like one of those, like, that's my favorite animal. And to see it there right in front of you in a natural setting like that, I was just like,
That was really cool.
like an alien beam. I just wanted to, like, go and touch the elephant.
She was
Oh
so
my God.
cute. I wish we would have had the opportunity to do it, but unfortunately, Josh and Tanner were right behind us, and we weren't so sure that the elephant wouldn't
Right behind us.
eat us. All right, over at the other detour, everybody else is arriving. You got the reporters first, Team Alabama, behind them, followed by the track stars, cheerleaders, Shack Attack, and paparazzi. But as soon as Alabama gets there, they see the reporters, and the reporters see them use the express pass.
Kind of liked how they were there.
Yeah, we actually had to we interrupt them doing the detour. Like we were like, okay,
I saw
sorry,
that.
I know it's your turn, but we have an express pass, so sorry.
I saw that.
Skipsies!
I think this says move one space ahead of you.
So Mom and I didn't know that those had like all these secret alliances going, so we had no idea like they would even care. We're like, okay, we're
Right.
express pass.
So as everybody's waiting to do crocodiles, the last people to get there are the paparazzi. And this is when Chris starts freaking out, saying they need to go because they're last. He starts getting dressed, and then they get undressed, and then they get dressed. And they change their mind, and then they change their mind.
Did you see whose fault this was?
Did I see whose fault this was?
Yes. Or
I
whose
think
fault
this
do you
was,
think it was?
Like, I think all of this was Chris's fault.
Really?
Yeah, who
She
saw
totally
the?
thinks it's Logan.
Well, I thought it was Logan. Chris was 100% right. The second he got there, he said, like, no, we can't stay here.
Here's my thing, though. If you get to that location, I think if they had gone to canoes, they would have been out 100%.
What? There was like 4 people ahead of them, though.
That thing only took like 12, 15 minutes.
But how long was the safety briefing? You had to go through a safety briefing, you had to change, and then you had to go down and
Total
feed them,
time,
and then you had to go change again.
I'm telling you, it was only like 15 minutes total.
Okay, so, I mean, that's still 45 minutes before you even get a
But
shot.
while one person's in the cage, another person's changing. Like you saw them changing in the
Right.
background. So like the
Right.
changing is part of it. And the
Right.
safety briefing is kind of just like oh, well, don't put your arms out of the
Right,
cage.
don't put your fingers on the cage. I know. We'll get
So
to
it's
more of
not
the
like you
safety
have to, like,
briefing at
sit down and
Lions.
take a course and pass a class and like do compression on a person.
Yeah, I was like, we'll get to safety briefings later in Lions because I got a comment about that. But yeah, the safety briefings like don't put your fingers out of the cage and
Well, if you know you're last and you have at least 3 or 4 people ahead of you, and
it's a tough spot.
you,
I mean,
you just know you're last. You know you're last here. If you go to the other place, you have a chance at not being last.
I just don't
Well,
know.
I
Like
don't
we
say
don't know
it's a
how
tough
far
spot.
the other place is.
right.
It's
Right.
dangerous.
It is
It's
dangerous.
even like when you're watching it, but when you're sitting in that position, like I have to take myself back to that. If I'm sitting in that position and I go, I'm here, I'm in line, I'm seeing this isn't taking that long, but if I have to get undressed, find a taxi, find this other place, complete it, and then I don't even know where I'm going past that.
But he said, "Let's go" before they changed,
Like,
which,
he
which
got
was
there and
instantly,
saw.
which was the right time to do it. So
And here's my thing. Like, I think canoes took probably 15 minutes,
yeah.
maybe even 20. You know, if you're 20 minutes away even, and it takes you 20 minutes, that's still competitive with what it would take you to wait in line and go next. So, like,
That's fair.
you can't. It's a tough spot, and it's not a fun one to be in.
No.
But originally, I thought Chris was right in this argument thing because when he got there, he made the decision and kind of Logan didn't say anything. And then finally, when Chris commits to staying, Logan says, you know, do you think that we should switch or should we switch? And it's like, why are you bringing it up if he was just saying that and now he's committing and you're doubting him? So
That's talking about another great editing moment is when those two are going at it, and then they like go to the crocodiles, they're like chomping on stuff. Crocodiles that are chomping on stuff. And it's just like the back and forth. It was just amazing editing.
Yeah, and I also like the part when Rick Shack is down feeding them. He's having such a good time under the water feeding the crocodiles. And
Yeah.
after you feed the crocodiles, you make your way to the lion encounter at the Safari Lodge, where you have to get a security briefing and find a clue inside of a skull along a path as you're being guided by a male and a female lion.
do you remember how many steps there were, James Earl?
How many steps?
Yes. How many like safety steps or safety rules there were?
God, there was like 8. I don't remember them all, but there was like 8.
There was
like
10. There was 10, but how are you going to remember all 10?
like their safety theme was like, here's a stick. If the lion runs at you, like aim the stick on the ground
Right.
and hope it runs away.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure that me and Diana are not the slowest.
Yeah, I'm
one.
going to put myself behind the people that work here. That was my plan.
Yeah, rare instance where the pink team has to wear different colors.
Yeah, good thing you packed other colors, you said.
Well,
Yes.
like here's the thing. So I had a shirt that was blue, and Mom had that one light shirt that was white. So everything else in our bag was pink. So we were either going to go like shirtless, or I'm glad we had that one.
I would have brought like a zebra shirt or something had I known we were going to walk with
I'm
lions.
about to say, wait, I don't know if you want a zebra shirt. You look like prey.
Well, if a bunch of us wore zebra, then we would be good because that's
No,
why zebras
it's
can.
not for a
That's
zebra.
why
I don't want to
zebras-
be any prey.
Wait, hold on. That's why zebras camouflage works so well when they're in big groups because you
We're
don't.
groups
Hold
of
on.
2, though.
And that's why I said if there was more of us, then it would have worked better than just
She's
one.
adorable, and this
I
is why I
just
love
stop.
her. She's just so
Edit.
adorable.
Edit.
No, well, it might make the Patreon edit. All right, so we go to the lion encounter, and Bama has to change their clothes, but the green team is first, right, followed by Bama. Both of them actually going at the same time, and Mama was so cute. And when she's going through, she asked the trainers if the animals love them. She goes, "Do they love you?" He's like, no, they'll eat us.
Well, no, that's the thing, because she was so sad. She thought they were going to be like their best friends for life, and she's like, they don't love you forever.
Yeah, I noticed that. She said something like, you know, they don't get used to you and love you.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's another cute moment for Mama that people just overlook all the cute moments.
The other crazy thing is like an experience like that where you have a guide taking you through something. I take those moments to like ask questions. I'm a teacher. I want to learn what I'm doing. So we were asking our guide about, you know, how old they are, where they get them, how they release them. And, you know, our guide was educating us, only to come to find out when we came home that Season of the Lion happened like less than a week after we were there in Zimbabwe. And I just...
place we were at, though. Is it a different...
No. A different place, but still in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, same country. It felt like such a small world. And it made me think like, just that anything can happen to you at any time. And I know that didn't happen to me, but like I was there less than a week before it happened. And that happens in Paris too. And
I will say though, like those tour guides, like our job at that moment, and I kept telling Mom, was just look for the skull. And Mom was like really neat. She's like, oh, and she was talking back and forth. Like, Mom, look for the skull.
Stop embracing the moment, Mama. Look for the skull.
Yeah, that's what we were doing.
That's like her.
Yeah. Like that's in the back of my head. I keep saying, Justin, do you see any skulls? Do you see any skulls? But then I'm asking questions in between, looking for skulls and listening.
Also, and one more thing, sorry, in case your guide didn't tell you, our guide told us like at 18 months they have to put them back into the wild because they'll eat you, and they're like, but don't you worry, these are only 16 months. And in my head, I'm like, is this like
they're still babies?
18 months? Is it like turns, or is that a gradient? Like,
yeah, do some mature early and want to eat you at 16? Because that one turned around and did come at Diana.
Yeah, there was a couple, and one came around at me.
And Shack Attack.
Shack Attack. I'm trying to say their name right. They're not Shack.
Oh, Shack Attack.
You, I know. But that's like Tanner calling me Diane. But he's okay because he's cute.
So the first group is Green Team and Team Alabama. Second group is Texas and the Reporters, followed by the cheerleaders, the track stars, the shacks, and the paparazzis over at the Lion Encounter. But this is where the track stars actually, they get there and head to the pit stop first.
Because that was the Missouri Lodge.
Because that was at the Missouri Lodge. They put the headset, the headdress on. They do the walk. They see Phil.
And they're like, wait a second. No, this isn't right.
And they're lucky that they were actually really close together because they just, got in the cab and went right there. It was less than a mile away. And they got back in line to see the Lion Encounter, and they still had two teams behind them.
Yeah, so, I mean, that was lucky for them. It's just tough. It's tough in the moment because you really never know where you're going.
Right.
You don't. What you grinning about over there?
Yeah, but they just made a mistake. And then they get to this next one.
And they don't read their clue and make another mistake.
And then they don't read their clue.
So this is
another
the first mistake. I forgive. Like that's not. I forgive the first mistake.
Yes.
The second one.
Yes.
Their issue was, and this is a rule I told Mom, is like our clue always has to be in our hand or on our person. Like we never need to be separated from our clue. Like if we lose luggage, whatever, we can't lose clues, we can't lose passports. So like whoever's doing the roadblock, you had the clue in your hand so you could like reference it. And I think their issue was they left that clue back with their luggage and then just went on the walk.
Right.
But still, like skulls, you gotta have something in your mind. They're just like, hey, we're just going on a walk. Like, and then they were like, oh yeah, I saw a skull. Well, you saw a skull, you never even mentioned it. Be like, oh, what's that skull? Or look at the interesting skull, or anything. Just so they make another mistake and they go through the walk and they don't see the skull. So that puts them in the back of the line, which makes Shack Attack and the paparazzi get ahead of them. And now you get to the Missouri Lodge. The first team there is the Green Team, followed by Alabama. Reporters, cheerleaders.
Hot on the
tails. Cheerleaders, Shack Attack, paparazzi, and the track stars are last to get there. But fighting for first place, the Green Team is there first. Headdresses on. The walk is starting. Team Alabama shows up.
Hold on. I just want to say, Phil says, quote, and just to make things interesting, how we have to balance the fruit on our heads.
Right. They're like, yeah, head to the Missouri Lodge. And just to make things interesting, they're going to have to balance this fruit on their head like the locals. And the girls are just walking
I'm biased, and I'll admit I'm very biased. It's a cool challenge because it brings
Yes.
something from their culture into it.
No,
I agree.
definitely no.
I agree.
A slow because a fast it's just so like ironic, like it's a slow race to the finish. You want to get there as fast as you can, but you have to go slow, otherwise you're gonna
And
drop
this
it.
is where, James Earl, I would give you the title quote for the episode, because
Uh-oh.
you say this is the slowest foot race ever, and I was like, that should have been the name of the episode, because
Yay! That makes me happy. I wish it was.
well, because that's what it came down to. It came down to the slowest foot race.
Twice.
And for us, like we got there, we were pumped, and then you come up and we're like, all right, it's okay. And then you guys nailed it, and you did what you had to do when you had to do it, and I give you props for that. For us, it was like
All day
just
with
watching,
first place.
and then
all
watching
time.
you and your mom, you and Denise, just literally.
And we didn't know that you used we had the express pass or used the express pass, so we're like,
Yeah, we didn't know.
we're in first place all day, running. Nobody's
did
even
they
close
come
to us,
from?
and we get there. We're in first place, get there, and then you show up and pass us, and I'm like,
You just walked right in front.
you definitely
of us.
earned it. You
100%.
beat us by minutes.
100%.
I mean, we got there before you, but you guys
It
had
took us I think 15 minutes, 10 minutes after you
I
guys
think
had
it was
already
10. I
finished.
really think
Yeah.
we see the
That was-
times in the next episode. I think it was 10.
It was so hard, and people online were just like, "Oh, why don't you just run with it?" It's not that easy. I mean, it wasn't even easy to just keep it on your head.
Yeah,
and,
just take 2 steps as big as you can, and then everything will fall. No, it's wherever
and
they
these
fall.
women walking by are just like, literally, it looks like they're ice skating. Oh, relax.
They're like
relax.
dancing.
And I'm telling Justin, like, I am as calmly frustrated as I can be, because there's nothing that you can do, and you can't make yourself any better at balancing fruit on your head.
I don't understand why relaxing was good.
Ugh.
Like relaxing makes your head wobble, wobbling makes the fruit
Ugh.
fall.
It was just so hard.
See, I had a little bit of advantage just as I was in band, so I knew how to control all this up here.
Not me.
You like marching band or?
Yeah, no, I was in marching band in college.
Oh, so you really had to do your straight back and
Right, yeah. So I was used to all that. But I think, the Express Pass gave us the win. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, we're so amazing. Because when we started this lead, if you go all the way back to that shoestrings, we're 20 minutes behind y'all.
Yeah, but you guys checked in third at the pit stop, right behind Tanner and Josh.
That's true.
So,
But, it still gave us time. We wouldn't have been able to catch off that.
absolutely.
Well, it was close. Hey, you guys you won. It's awesome because you're one of the teams that we really, really like, and we're glad that you're
gotta
one
win.
of the teams that won.
You like us now. Then maybe not so much.
Well, I don't know that
No.
anybody really liked anybody.
Yeah, we like I said, we looked at you as our biggest threat, so it was a kind of like we didn't want to like you because you were our biggest threat. So if we liked you, then we wouldn't get rid of you.
Well,
So arriving at the Masuhi Lodge was the green team, Alabama, the reporters, the cheerleaders, Shack Attack, paparazzi, and the track stars. But the way the finish turned out was Alabama finishing in first place, winning a trip to Slovakia.
That's cool.
Bratislava, Slovakia.
Bratislava Hava. That's where they're going. You know what we won the last leg? Nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
That's okay, though.
I know, it's totally okay. No, it's not. And Team Alabama will go into Bratislava, and that's when the green team finishes in second place. And a lot of people gave me a bunch of crap online for saying second place is the first loser.
But it is. Look, we're happy about second. We're proud about being second, but nobody wants
I can see how it's frustrating because you're working so hard and y'all literally lost it right there. You see it happening.
Right.
See Phil.
Right.
You see him. He's right there.
Yeah, but that's still, that's
I
why we were so better about it.
what you were saying. It's frustrating in the moment. It really is.
Yeah.
Especially doing a task that I know I
We're
sucked at.
competitive.
I can't balance anything on my egg head. Look at this thing. Look. It's a freaking egg.
That's why they gave us those things, though.
Yeah,
Probably
those things were
equalized
slippery.
domes like yours.
All right. So, and I also got a bunch of crap for saying that the best team will win, and we all know who the best team is, but you have to believe you're the best team in order to be the best.
Yeah.
Any great athlete thinks that way every time. There's no great athlete who's humble when they're playing. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's no great athlete.
It's just the
Sorry.
way. It's the way
Yeah,
say it.
you know why?
That's all.
Because I say it with this confidence, and it sucks because it's true. Leave me alone.
I think just the smirk. I think just the
Yeah,
smirk.
see? Thank you. It's his delivery. It's just, look, you can be right.
No, I understand.
Do you understand though?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes, it's just this. I don't know.
Here's the thing. No. Here's the thing. When you get to know you, Justin, I get it. Like, I understand it, and I get you, and I know you. During the race, though, like when I didn't know you as well, I was like, what the heck is this dude's problem?
Thank
But,
you.
like, once you get to know you, like, it's endearing. It is.
See,
Once
but
you get to
here's-
know you, it's endearing.
Here's my thing. I know him. So going in, I'm trying to get him to just like shut up. I'm trying to make friends here. I'm trying to enjoy this experience and be included. And I have Justin on my team. And I love him. And he's a wonderful partner. But I also know exactly. Oh, come on. Stop
No,
it.
don't sulk. I'm
Oh,
saying.
no, he's not.
I don't want you to change. It's
Oh,
just
he's
like,
not. He's
Don't,
not.
I don't know you. It's hard.
Don't worry. He's not changing.
I get it. No, I get it.
We're working on it.
So the green team finishes in second place is pretty much a sore loser. Where, yes, I know, second place is the same thing as finishing in sixth place because you both get nothing. The third team to arrive is Team Texas, followed by the cheerleaders and the paparazzi past Team Shack Attack. And this is when the track stars get there, and they can see the paparazzi and Shack Attack. So they're not that far behind. If they aced this, and they had a little practice. So I thought they would have had a chance because they got there and they practiced.
They must just have not been that close for it to have mattered.
Yeah, I don't think it was, just because if you think about how long that line encounter took, it took like 12, 15 minutes.
Right. I mean, and the edits were saying,
Well,
oh,
that walk
I can
took us
see-
at least 15 minutes. Though.
I can see the paparazzi and, Shack Attack. So they can see them, but they were probably in that lodge area. And at that point, you just know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very long shot, but they had a chance.
It was like 50 yards.
Yeah,
right?
but after making two critical mistakes, the track stars couldn't overcome it at the end, and the track stars lose the race, the slowest foot race in history. That should have been the name.
Slowest foot race.
Yeah, that should have been the name.
So question for you, Justin, because this is a debatable thing.
Go for
With
it.
the U-turn, if you're in the race and you don't know what's coming up, you can't. You can never know how things are going to turn. Like, things can change on the drop of a dime. Should you use the U-turn? Because if, like, let's put ourselves in track star shoes. If they had-
The track stars? Yes, the track stars should 100% use a U-turn. Here's the thing. If the U-turn is not used and you're one of the last two teams, you U-turn that last team to guarantee that you win. Even if you could see the pit stop, which is kind of the reason you can let them go. But the strategy is you get to the U-turn board and there's one team behind you, U-turn them and guarantee that they can't pass you.
Yeah, but at that point, they couldn't have passed them because the pit stop was right there.
Yeah. I mean,
There's no reason that they would have unless they would have known that it was a keep on racing line. Had
did they see another team leaving?
That's
Because
what
saw
I'm
me
saying.
leaving.
Yeah, so they had that
that's the only
advantage.
thing. If they did see another team kind of leave, then they should have known it was to keep on racing and use the U-turn. If there was nobody in front of them to see that, then
But at what point in time, because you don't know when you go to the U-turn board, like you can maybe have an idea where you're at, but you know just as well as I do, you never fully know where you are.
no.
Right,
So
they knew
what
that
point in time do you use the U-turn?
I would use it if I think that I'm near the bottom and I know that there's one team behind me, at least one team behind me.
I think
that's
placement.
when I would use it.
See, and I think placement was everything. I think it was meant for nobody to use it because of exactly where it was. Not that it was meant for nobody to use it, but they're smart. They know
It's
when
a terrible place to put a U-turn board. I mean, they tried something new. Go for it. Hey, it didn't work out, but I don't know what the mindset of putting it there was. Like, there's really no reason to use it unless you're just going by like gameplay strategy. I'm near the bottom. Whoever's there, I'm going to use it. But when you see the finish line,
I think if the U-turn was at a route info before we got to the orphanage, it would 100% would have been used.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, I definitely think that.
you guys
it's
wouldn't have used it,
placement.
right?
We wouldn't have known. Just because we felt comfortable, like we felt very comfortable where we were.
Even if you got to the U-turn board first, would you have U-turned us?
Yes,
Yeah.
we would have.
I think everybody would have.
I'm sorry. I'm
I
not.
No, be sorry. It's strategy.
I'm playing against us as well, and I would have U-turned us as well. I mean,
No, like knowing y'all now, how I know you, I wouldn't. But you have to remember, like at this point in time during the race, I had known of your existence for a whopping like 7 days.
But not from that, just from a strategy. It's a double U-turn, so you're going to get there first and U-turn us and what? Hope that somebody gets there before us and U-turns you guys?
It's worked before.
Right. Okay. Because, I mean,
And
like, if you get there first and we get there second, it's like a wasted U-turn.
It is. It is a waste of U-turn, but it's big risk, big reward, honestly.
right.
Right. It's good strategy. Hey, what else? What other things did we notice from this episode that you want to point out before we get to Diana's who she's putting in check?
Can I see my little clap?
Yes.
Yes.
My
Who gets
clap
the
moment, and it's all about us, and I'm sorry it's all about Team Alabama, but it was us winning a leg.
We all did the James Earl Seal clap.
I give it to you.
We didn't want to be the first team out. We wanted to win a lead, and we wanted to win the race.
This like really, I think, shifted you and your mom's race.
Oh,
You know,
it
like-
totally did. And I know Nets led is a fluke.
Yes.
But the way
guys
we were
come back.
interacting and the way we were racing completely changed these leads. Like 4 and 5, leads 4 and 5 kind of defined the race for us.
Yes.
It was like how we are as racers.
Yes. It showed, you know, you guys going from the top to the bottom and just fighting your way back to the top. So
Yeah.
I agree.
James Earl Seal. The James Earl Seal clap goes to Team Alabama
All right.
for fighting and getting that win.
I hate to do it though.
Uh-oh.
I have to put the track stars both in check because clue reading. It's just,
Amazing Race 101.
I mean, you know,
It's everybody's number one rule.
it is.
Read
and it stinks because
the
I feel like
clue.
even the whole mess with the leg before with going into Zimbabwe when you should have stayed in Zambia and going to the wrong bridge. I mean, the
'Cause
clue
on the
said
clue-
knife's edge.
And the
You
clue
gotta
said you
say
don't have to
that.
go to another country, and you wind up going to another country.
It's just clues. There's so much information. And as a teacher, I don't know if I just naturally like, okay, there's super information here. Let's break this down and look at it. But there's so much on there. And it ended up costing them. And
That is true. So for all you future racers out there that are watching this, you get a lot. It's not just like this little blurb you see on TV.
No.
You get a page. And you
yes.
have to know every word of it. You have to
Yes.
know the words.
Yes, it gives you all the dirty details on what
Yes.
you have to be successful with when you're completing the task or
And can
the do nots.
I give a little preface to season 28 real quick?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yes. So when they did that live cast, like that live feed cast, when they were doing it, the teams that I saw that took a second to like take all the papers out and read it, like I immediately looked at them and go, I know they're making it far. Like in my head, there is no doubt.
Especially on the first
opened it
leg.
and made the decision. Those are the ones I worry about.
Right.
And I have to point out, like Tyler and Corey, like you see them with the extra sheet of paper, like reading it slowly to themselves, and that, as a racer, as someone watching, I'm going, that's a team to watch out for.
Definitely. Especially on the first leg.
Yeah.
I mean, to be that aware on the first leg. And I'm not going to lie, when I first saw the cast, I was like, are any of them real fans of the show, or are they just being picked because, you know, they're social media stars? But watching that in the very first clip, almost like a sneak peek, you know that they're fans. I mean, 100%, you know that they know what they're getting into, and I think that's what's going to make it really exciting this season.
Yeah, we'll definitely do a season 28 preview the week before season 28 starts. That's going to be fun. But
Oh, absolutely. I just wanted to
What's
say
all
that.
the bio stuff? I know. Now that I
want the bios to drop and do all that.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
get their videos and do all that before we do the real preview.
I can't believe it.
It's coming good. It's coming soon.
Yeah.
Time is flying. Y'all realize we're like approaching almost a year since we've raced.
What?
Yeah. I've done like residency for 7 months now, so it's been at least 7 months since we've raced.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Dude, I know.
Final thoughts,
thoughts.
closing words. Africa, I think, was pretty unanimously everybody's favorite leg.
As far as the racers go, as racers, it's an amazing lead to watch, and I think there was a lot of drama with messing up everywhere that made it a
Yes.
really good episode for watchers.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Very entertaining.
As racers, it was hands down my favorite place to visit.
ours too.
It's something that just doesn't compare to any other place on earth. There's nothing like it. And if you ever get the chance to experience it. Like, don't buy that Jaguar, get a Camry, and take that extra money and go on a safari. Like,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? It's worth
It's
it.
exactly what I pictured Africa to be. And that was so satisfying for me. And that happens again, like later in Rotterdam. That's exactly what I pictured Europe to be. And India's India.
Spoiler. All right.
You can edit that out.
Season 27, episode 5 in the books. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. We would love you to join us on Patreon, patreon.com/classic1media. You can look it up, subscribe, you get all the cool stuff, and pass along our YouTube to your friends and let them know that we will be live for season 28. So please join us so we can interact. That's going to be really fun for us because we get to get instant feedback of what you guys are thinking. So tell your friends. Follow us on our social media. I am at Justin Classic and the number 1. She is
Lady Classic. Or Lady Classic 1.
And
O-N-E.
I am at J.E. Corley.
check them out.
Next time.
Later, guys.